Welcome to Transcendent Studios' Password Memory System. This memory system was birthed out of my 30 years as an IT professional and the need that I often had to remember upwards of 500 passwords and logins in dealing with the multiple companies that I was assisting. Hopefully this system will enable you to remember your passwords and logins securely, easily, and without the aid of things like papers, Word documents, or even other programs which you may or may not want to use due to security issues. Let's get started. We all know that passwords are essential, and every year they get more important. In 2017, it was estimated that the average user had almost 200 different logins. Every year, identity theft continues to increase. In the recent years, account takeovers have been one of the primary increases. Passwords now run everything from your bank account to your front door. Needless to say, a good password and a good password system is very important to the security of your finances and possibly your own home. So, let's learn what I did to remember the upwards of 500 passwords and logins that I deal with every day. First, we start off with what makes a good password. It's essential that each password is unique from every other password you use in case one of them is compromised. My personal preference is that each password is unique both forwards and backwards. Another requirement I have is that a password is at least 15 characters long. The longer a password is, it's obvious it's harder to crack. However, 15 characters is a bare minimum to what I consider a good password. Most of my passwords range between 18 and 64 characters long. Your password should also contain capital letters, numbers, and symbols. It should be easy for you to remember and not written down in any compromisable place. And many times they need to change often. Some bad password habits you should look to mitigate in your life are using the same password for multiple logins. This means if one login is compromised, all your passwords are compromised. Another thing to avoid is writing down your passwords. Oftentimes this makes them not only easy to lose, but easy for others to find. Shared passwords are also an issue, where multiple people have knowledge of a login and a password to one account. Another thing to avoid is having passwords that are simply a common phrase or word. These are easily breakable by what they call a dictionary attack, where a computer will simply try every word in the dictionary and simple known phrases to log into a user's account. So it makes a good password system. A password system is a system that enables you to remember your passwords. It must be personal to you and easy to remember. It also needs to have great security and meet those requirements we talked about before for passwords. This system must also not rely on unsafe storage methods like paper, Word documents, or even other password memory programs that could be compromised. It must also work with two-factor authentication and other increased security options if those are required by your company or if you so desire. These are what I consider a bare minimum for what a good password system is. Let's learn about what my password system is as it meets all these requirements. Step 1 in my password memory system is to choose a phrase. This phrase needs to be very personal to you and easy to remember. Some good examples are, I love to sail, Cody is my dog, when in Rome, or even a favorite song title like Over the Rainbow. You don't have to worry about these phrases being too long. The important thing is that they're easy for you to remember and they mean something to you. This phrase will be the basis of your password system. Now I know in previous steps I encourage you not to use a common phrase or simple words because they can easily be broken. Step 2 of my password system will resolve this issue. So take a moment to choose a phrase that's personal to you, and then we'll move on. Step 2 in my password system is to choose a cipher. What a cipher does is it makes your phrase indiscernible or ununderstandable by most computers or other individuals. The cipher I use is listed below. I change every A to an @ symbol. I capitalize every E. All S's become the number 5. All O's become the number 0. And every I becomes a 1. You can have as many of these ciphers as you would like. The more the merrier. However, they need to be easily remembered by you and easy to type. This will enable you to change your phrase into something that naturally flows from your fingertips and makes up the basis of your upcoming passwords. Let's move on. Step 3 is applying the cipher. Using the cipher on the previous page, I love to sail becomes 1 space L0V capital E space T0 space 5 at 1 L. As you can see, this has become an amazingly complex and confusing password, which may be daunting at first, but you'll find that once you begin to type it, it starts to flow naturally. And its complexity meets all the requirements except for the 15-character minimum. Don't worry if your password phrase doesn't meet the 15-character minimum. You can always double it to increase the length of your password, and the following steps will add a couple of characters as well. So don't get stressed out about that yet. Simply learn to apply your cipher and begin to type out your phrase multiple times so it becomes muscle memory. Step number 4 is to identify your password bookends. A password bookend is a pair of letters that you think of when logging into a certain site. These letters should be the first 2 letters that come to your mind, and they should always make sense to you. For instance, if you're going to Amazon, maybe the first 2 letters you think of are A and Z for Amazon. eBay might be EB for eBay. Facebook, F and B. Or maybe your online banking, O and B. Or Fifth Third's Bank, 5 and 3. It's important that these letters be the first thing that come to your mind because you want a natural response. You shouldn't be overthought about or calculated out. You want it to be just as natural every time you go to Facebook for your mind to think of these 2 letters. The final step in our password system is to assemble your unique password. Combine your bookends and your ciphered password by placing a symbol of your choice between the bookends and your ciphered phrase. For instance, if we use the I love to sail ciphered phrase and our Amazon bookends, the password now becomes A #1 space L0V capital E space T0 space 5 at 1 L #C, which is an incredibly powerful password and exceeds the 15-character minimum. Below are other examples of assembled passwords, using the bookends on the previous example. You can see that these are unique both forward and backward, and use your easy-to-remember ciphered phrase in the center. In conclusion, you should now be able to create your own fully unique passwords that are a combination of a phrase that's easy for you to remember and a natural reaction that produces 2 letters when you go to any website or login. You can use this to create hundreds of passwords that flow naturally from your own mind and are easy to type because of your unique ciphered phrase which you use for each and every password. These passwords should easily meet or exceed any complexity requirements imposed by websites or your work environment, and again should easily come to your mind and flow naturally. You've now learned how to store 500 passwords plus in your mind without even thinking about it. I thought I'd add some of my favorite tips and tricks. If your passwords need to change often for security requirements at your company, I simply add a number to the end of my password and increment it each time they require me to change it. And after 9, I restart. This enables me to keep my same master password, but have enough changing iterations to make my company happy. If you're worried about the complexity of important passwords like banking passwords, or maybe your home security password, you can simply double your internal phrase for those passwords, or add another unique character to the end, like an exclamation point. This will make that password unique in one more step than all your other passwords. For passwords that require some extra length to increase security, like Wi-Fi passwords, you can simply apply your cipher to a simple phrase, like our family's unbreakable Wi-Fi password. You can see that it's easy to remember, but incredibly complex. Also, if you'd like to see how many times your current password has been used by others, or if your passwords have been recovered from any of your email accounts, you can go to haveibeenpwned.com. They have great resources to help you find if your passwords or logins have been compromised. I want to thank you for your time and for learning about our password memory system. I hope it adds as much freedom and enjoyment to your life as it has added to mine. If you're interested in seeing the many other things we at Transcendent Studios do, from literature to sculptures to inventions, even apparel, come check us out at transcendent.studio. And if you want a behind-the-scenes look at what goes on here and be able to share your opinion and insights, become a patron. We'd love to have you as part of our team. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.